You are 18 when the letter arrives. March 1943. Your mother opens the envelope at the kitchen table and immediately starts crying. Your father says nothing. He fought at Verdun in the last war. He recognizes the paper before he even sees the stamp. 3 weeks later, you stand inside a draft center in Hamburg, wearing a field gray uniform that smells like wet wool and old tobacco. The rifle they hand you was manufactured before you were born. The sergeant tells you Germany still controls Europe, from the Arctic Circle to Greece. Nobody mentions Stalingrad. Nobody mentions the nearly 300,000 men who disappeared there. By late 1943, they send you west instead of east, and for a moment, you think you survived. The Eastern Front has become a machine consuming entire divisions. Veterans returning from Russia look 20 years older than they are. Some are missing fingers. Others wake up screaming at night. None of them believe the war can still be won. But Normandy feels different. The officers speak about the Atlantic Wall as if it were unbreakable. Concrete, steel, mines, artillery, machine guns. You arrive near a position overlooking Omaha Beach. Resistance Nest 62. WN 62. The bunker complex sits roughly 40 meters above the shoreline beside one of the few natural exits off the beach. If enemy troops land here, they must move directly beneath your guns to reach inland France. For months, you build fortifications almost every waking hour. You pour reinforced concrete until your hands split open from cement dust and cold rain. You drag steel obstacles into the surf at low tide. Wooden stakes, Belgian gates, teller mines. Steel hedgehogs designed to rip open landing craft before they ever touch sand. The beach slowly becomes a killing zone measured down to the meter. Machine gun positions overlap each other. Mortars are pre-sighted. Artillery coordinates are already mapped. Every approach route has been studied. The Russia veterans never say anything. They just keep digging. Your weapon is an MG-42. Loaded, the gun weighs over 11 kilograms. At full fire rate, it spits out up to 1,200 rounds per minute, 20 rounds every second. American soldiers will later compare the sound to tearing cloth or a circular saw cutting through steel. You train constantly. Barrel changes, feed jams, reload drills, belt swaps in darkness. The barrel overheats so quickly that crews are trained to replace it during sustained fire. During exercises, you practice changing glowing hot barrels with gloves already burned thin from heat. Standing atop WN-62 and looking down at the exposed beach below, Omaha feels impossible to cross, especially at low tide. On June 5, 1944, a storm crashes into Normandy. Rain lashes sideways across the bunkers. Waves hammer the beach obstacles below. Some officers begin relaxing. The Allies would never attempt an invasion in weather like this. Shortly after midnight, the sirens begin. Bombers, hundreds of them. The sound rolls through the clouds like distant thunder. Men rush into defensive positions expecting annihilation. But visibility is terrible. Many bomber crews release too early, afraid of hitting their own incoming troops at dawn. Entire fields inland explode. WN-62 survives almost untouched. At dawn, the clouds begin breaking apart. And then you see the horizon. Ships, thousands. The sea itself disappears beneath steel. Battleships, destroyers, cruisers, landing ships, transports. The largest amphibious invasion force ever assembled in human history is moving directly toward your position. Some soldiers simply stare in silence. Others begin crossing themselves. Then the naval bombardment starts. The coastline erupts. Battleship shells slam into the bluffs with enough force to shake concrete bunkers like earthquakes. Telephone wires snap instantly. Trenches partially collapse. Smoke rolls across the cliffs so thick you can barely see the beach anymore. But when the shelling lifts, the landing craft are already approaching. At approximately 6:30 in the morning, the the ramps begin dropping, and the killing starts immediately. Many Americans land too far offshore in deep water. Soldiers carrying over 30 kilograms of equipment stumble into the surf and vanish beneath the waves. Others vomit from seasickness before reaching shore. Then the MG-42 crews open fire. The first bursts tear through tightly packed infantry, still trapped knee-deep in water. Men collapse instantly. Others trip over bodies beneath the surf. Radio operators die first because the antenna packs make them obvious targets. The machine guns sweep left and right across the beach in controlled arcs. Not individual targets, masses. Entire sections disappear beneath overlapping fields of fire before reaching cover. American soldiers pile behind steel obstacles and burning wreckage while mortar rounds crash among them. The noise becomes indescribable. Machine guns, artillery, naval shells, screaming wounded, burning engines, tearing metal. The air smells like wet sand, smoke, seawater, explosives, and blood. Your assistant gunner feeds ammunition belts continuously into the MG-42 while empty casings pile around your boots. Every few hundred rounds, the barrel glows dangerously hot. You swap it, again, again, again. Below you, Omaha Beach becomes a slaughterhouse. Destroyed landing craft burn in the surf. Engineers trying to blow obstacles apart are cut down mid-charge. Wounded men press themselves against corpses because dead bodies provide better cover than open sand. And still, the Americans keep coming. By mid-morning, something begins to feel wrong. You look toward the sky. Nothing. No Luftwaffe. Not a single meaningful German air response appears over Omaha Beach that morning. By afternoon, WN-62 is no longer part of a defensive line. It is an isolated pocket surrounded by chaos. Some MG-42 crews continue firing until ammunition is nearly exhausted. Others attempt withdrawal through shattered trenches under artillery fire. The beach below is covered with burning vehicles, wrecked landing craft, shattered equipment, and hundreds of dead. But the invasion has not stopped. And by evening, many German defenders understand something terrifying. The Atlantic Wall was never designed to survive this level of industrial power, because Omaha Beach was not simply an infantry assault. It was the full weight of Allied industry unleashed at a single point on the map. Warships, aircraft, fuel, artillery, landing craft, logistics, replacement troops, near endless ammunition. Everything Germany no longer had enough of in 1944. The men inside WN-62 inflicted devastating casualties that morning, and it still was not enough. Because by June 1944, Germany could still produce deadly soldiers, but it could no longer compete with enemies capable of replacing ships, tanks, aircraft, ammunition, fuel, and men faster than the Wehrmacht could destroy them. For several hours on June 6, 1944, the MG-42 turned Omaha Beach into hell. But even hell could no longer stop the invasion.